lot of people are still skeptical of AI and do not fully appreciate its ramifications. I cannot underplay the need for a level of education amongst all parties in Luxembourg.
Nasir Zubairi, CEO of LHoFT.
Everybody is talking about AI these days.
Gérard Hoffmann, CEO of Proximus Luxembourg.
But what really matters is how can we get to concrete actions in business? Welcome to this NXT Talk episode. Hi Nasir, hi. Thanks for receiving me here in this beautiful experience center around AI. It's fascinating to see what you've realized here in a very short time and how much success this has already generated. Can you tell us why immersive experiences like this are important?
Thank you for coming, Gérard. Yes, immersive experiences are very important because I think, we as human beings, we are still very visual hands-on. We need to be able to play, to be able to physically see. It makes a big difference in terms of the purpose of the AI Centre, which is to inspire the finance sector to move forward and start doing things with AI. So it was very, very important to me that we created a physical space to enable that inspiration, to drive the finance sector forward in terms of wanting to do things with AI, but also to act somewhat as a showpiece for Luxembourg and what we're all trying to achieve. If we're going to be a forward-thinking technology sector, if we're going to be at the forefront of finance, we need places that showcase and demonstrate that we're doing that.
Yes, when we created LHoFT, we always thought about the Luxembourg ecosystem as being very agile and that we needed a place where we can assemble and exchange experiences. This is kind of, the culmination of this vision that we had many years ago. How did you get to where we are today?
Ecosystem to me has always been fundamental, regardless of how far we have progressed with technology, and so much has changed. Over the past 10 years, we've gone through waves and hype cycles with different tech, most obviously tokenization, blockchain, and now moving on to AI. But ultimately, it's still a people business. To us and to me personally, it's always been so critical to bring people together in order to drive change and to make things happen. And we have a unique ingredient in Luxembourg, is this closeness and proximity of key stakeholders that can come together, work together to drive the industry and technology and the country forward. And I always point to one little magic ingredient that I still remember from 10 years ago that I am totally bought into myself, and I know is a huge driving force for everyone in Luxembourg, that every single one of us can make a positive change to a country, and that is so motivating. That also drives that collaboration and that ecosystem to collaborate, the pride that ecosystem has, and helps, I hope, Luxembourg to move forward.
Yes, I agree. It's a great ecosystem, and also how we came to realize this is a joint success, I should say, between the LHoFT, but also Proximus. When you first came up in the board with the idea, well, it was not very precise right away. It took some time to get to, a concrete project and so on. And, for me, it was an inspiration already then. And since we are in that new field of AI now as a company and we have invested heavily, I thought that, we should support this project from day one. We introduced you to our partners, the big stakeholders in this market, and your team and yourself. You picked this up and developed the project accordingly. What do you see as the next steps to continue to develop this?
Well, we built the foundation here. It is a great showpiece. We've got some great demos in the center. It is creating, from the feedback we're receiving, that wow factor. What's now critical for us is we have a strategy and a plan and a vision as to what the center will do, which revolves around education programs, information sessions to help the financial industry to drive that excitement within the finance industry, to get them to ask, what do I do next? Which is where our role ends and we hand over to people like yourselves, to others, the experts in this field. So our role is very precise as to what we're looking to achieve. However, what is going to be absolutely critical is genuine, honest, positive, and more so negative feedback. We only learn from our mistakes to be able to enhance the center for it to really deliver core value, right? It's something special, but we need to really achieve that objective of helping to drive that finance sector forward in its capabilities, in its use of AI, in order to ensure Luxembourg's future competitiveness. I think this is a key juncture in the evolution of Luxembourg. If we don't start using the technology that's available, if we don't get a jump ahead with AI, we're at risk. And, I think we all have a part to play. It's great to have had the board's buy-in, to have the support of the board, and in particular, Proximus. We very much enjoyed working with you this past year, but over the past 10 years, your support. But now this is really key. We need to move forward. If we just accept and rejoice in our past successes and where we are today, we're certain to miss the future. If this center exists in this current guise in 4 years' time, we have failed. It should have evolved.
But it must evolve. I mean, Luxembourg must evolve also.
Of course.
The market is changing quickly. We see a lot of centrifugal forces in the market where AI projects are carried out often at the headquarters because that's where the decision makers sit. We see this as a contribution to this effort of the ecosystem to not only improve productivity and stay relevant in terms of innovation and so on, but also to attract activity around AI to Luxembourg. We want to be, the ambition here of both the government and the industry in Luxembourg is to be leading the AI revolution and not lagging behind. Can we say that this center will live up to that ambition? It's hard to say today. What else needs to happen around the center for this? What other measures can you imagine that one should take to encourage AI projects in Luxembourg?
I'm very aware of the excitement and desire by many, many stakeholders, public sector and private sector in Luxembourg, to, as you say, make Luxembourg a leader in AI. But in order to do that, it's not just about discussing, it's also about doing. And, I think you know me quite well. I'm rather action-orientated.
Yes.
I might not always get things perfectly correct, but I'd rather do and fail than not do at all. And that was critical for us. I mean, we have, other projects like the Melexina supercomputer, things the private sector are doing. But the substance, as you said, we wanted to make something happen. So this is what we did, and we built it in such a way that we can enhance it going forward. Other things that need to happen, I cannot underplay the role or the need for a level of education and understanding amongst all parties in Luxembourg. Because yes, there's the side of developing the applications, but we also need to know how to use them effectively. And I do get a greater sense that a lot of people are still skeptical of AI and do not fully appreciate its ramifications. We need to be able to attract the talent to come here to Luxembourg, and there are various things that can be done around that. Obviously, having flag-bearing projects is also useful because talent attracts talent, so to speak. Yes. But the government have been fantastic in terms of putting in place some great talent initiatives, but I think a level of more of marketing could be useful. The wonderful incentives for foreigners to come to Luxembourg, I think they'd jump at the chance to have a concession of 50% on their income tax if they actually knew about it. Then there's the corporate side of things as well. In order to get corporates to move here, we need to look at the subsidies and incentives we can offer there as well. However, we continue to attract. Things seem to be burgeoning in terms of attractiveness to Luxembourg. So I think we're in a good position, but in order to continue to be prosperous, we need to ensure that we do not stay the same. we also need to put in the effort individually and at company level to do things to ensure we remain competitive.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that it is also important for the country and also companies like ours to invest into infrastructure. It's a very competitive market, but I think that in this particular case, Luxembourg has a card to play. We have the critical mass in finance to make the difference. It's one of the few areas where we could actually be a worldwide reference for AI use cases. What you say is very right. We need talent. We need the legal environment, we need the fiscal incentives, but we also need the ambition and the vision. LHoFT has played a very important role here. 10 years ago, we didn't have this collective vision, and I'd like to thank you also for that, because this has been a very personal contribution of you into this ecosystem.
And thank you for coming, Gérard, and we really appreciate all the support you and Proximus have provided for this center and over the years.
Thanks, Nasir, for today and for having me here for the discussion that we would have together and the celebration of our joint success.
Artificial intelligence is no longer a future topic. It's becoming a real business transformation driver. But turning innovation into impact requires more than technology alone. It requires collaboration, trust, governance, and execution. And this is where Luxembourg has a unique opportunity. Discover all NXT Talk episodes on Spotify and YouTube. See you soon!